Hi all, Happy New Year. I have a beginning of a year message for you, and that's something that I love to do, and I do maybe too much of, but I don't know what that would be really. And that is reflection and setting intention, yes, for the new year. So I've been setting for 3-4 years now, which is not a long time, isn't it? Still, like, my main intentions for each year, like how I want to, no matter what's going to happen, obviously plenty of things that we really cannot control in life. So it's not about that really. It's about what's a bit more important to me this year. Is it to be brave? Is it to speak out? Is it to be maybe more gentle with myself? Is it to connect and reconnect with old friends? Like, what is it? So I set these main intentions, and then when I sort of assess my year, I look back at them and say, okay, was I putting conscious effort to actually like implement that, to do more of that, to seek more of that, and to show up in certain ways? So that's what I'm doing now, and I understand that I myself can go down this rabbit hole of just like analyzing, like how was my year, and like, ooh, this is a good question to ask, like let's do this, and then before I do that, I cannot do anything about next year anyway. So I know that this it's possible to get stuck in that analysis, and there is such a thing as like too much of reflection, maybe, especially if it's stopping you from actually doing things. So I hope that you're not falling into that yourselves, and also, as importantly, I hope that you're approaching that, if you're doing that, with self-compassion, right? Because when I look at when I look back at my year, I have plenty of really weird situations where either I wonder now, what the hell, I'm an adult, I have all these tools and frameworks, and I preach about them. And I still, I got myself in some pretty weird situations. Like, I was like, clearly, I wasn't listening to myself. Clearly, I was not really communicating my needs, or, I wasn't speaking out, like, whatever it was. And I could be very easily shaming myself right now, and, like, shame myself into, like, I don't know what. Like, not talking about it, I don't know. Because we know that shame is not really a great tool for anything. So when you're assessing, reassessing, reflecting on stuff, that could be one of the intentions, right? To be, it's like, can I be more self-compassionate? Not to deny some shitty things that maybe you did, or, just how things, turned up, and without negating that reality, or the shitty things that we do, or when we don't show up with integrity. And then, yes, learn from them, don't deny them, but self-compassion is, I think, it's always needed. It's always have more of that than less. And some of the questions I'm asking myself this year stem from the end of this year, because the whole year for me was, on one hand, it was an amazing year. Like, oh my goodness, I saw a lot, reconnected with friends, like I improved my languages, met many people, spent so much time in nature, outdoors. It was like so beautiful, and it was, and like that's still there. But also had a very long job search that really required me to like very consciously manage my thoughts well. To think of my resilience and what kind of base, like physical and mental base, I had from which I was operating. It was like, you really have to move your body, you really have to put good things into your head, because otherwise you're gonna freaking collapse. And it was a very long search, and I had my, various periods, but I did well because I put a lot of effort really into that. That was really tough, actually. And then the very end of last year for me was very, very, very intense in many ways, in many respects. And I've talked about it in my previous episodes here, right? It's no secret, but because of Palestine and my political work and my personal, professional, and academic connection to Palestine, it's been really tough. But because it's been so tough, like, yes, many things crumbled, but many things became clearer, in terms of like what I want to seek more of, and the importance of me really having good structures in place to take care of that mental and physical base, even though I thought that I had a lot of knowledge, and once again, tools and frameworks, which is okay. If I'm being more intentions about it, like, what would that take, and what would that look like in my routine, in my, maybe some new habits I have to form, like, what would that look like? Because it's easy to say, like, oh, this is what I want, but what would that look like? So when I set my intentions, say it's going to be this, and this, and then I write like, I speak out, I don't hesitate to blah, blah, blah. Like, what would that look like? I don't pursue this, I pursue that. When blah, 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 I do this. And it's been really helpful. It's been very helpful. And not to say that, oh, every year then, every year is like perfect in that respect that I come, so intentional, but I am much, much, much more intentional. And no matter what bad things, difficult things happen, or what good things happen, your intention is, how you want to show up, how you are with other people, how you approach things. That is a choice in the end, right? And many factors, of course, many factors from our childhoods that push us in a certain way. And yes, we know from various, approaches to trauma that what we sometimes think is our personality is actually different traits, usually something related to our defense mechanisms and how we had to be as children that we're carrying now into our adult lives. So I know that, but knowing that still many things, and for me that's one of the journeys, right, to learn more about that and to unlearn certain things. But how we show up, if we're being more intentional, I think that's always a great thing. So I hope you take the time. I hope you do some, whatever your processes are, good, but I hope you engage in them. And I hope you get, I hope you get excited, or you are getting excited for this new year. No matter how horribly it started in some respects in the world. But we do have this new year, and it's for us to decide how I want to show up, how we want to be with others and ourselves, and what is that meaningful work we want to pursue also. I think that's also very, very important. So thank you for listening. Happy New Year, and I'll see you soon.